Welcome to our very first podcast.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
It is crazy.
Wow.
I'm so excited.
We're doing it.
So today is all about how we started the business, Brick and Mortar Boutique, which we are a mobile boutique and we also have a storefront. But we started with the mobile boutique way back in 2018.
Yep, we started in July of 2018.
Yep, which seems like forever ago, honestly.
Yeah, we didn't ever want a storefront, so we basically just went straight to the mobile idea because Haley, you can tell that
Because
story.
me, yeah, I was in college. This was 2016 probably when we started dreaming up, like about 2 years until we executed, maybe give or take. I saw when I was in college in Peoria, I saw this mobile boutique, which was Runaway Rack. Shout out to Shay. And she has like the milk truck type of mobile boutique, if that makes sense. And we've seen those here and there. And I called up Lauren and I was like, what a great idea. Like, we have wanted a boutique, but we didn't want a storefront because we didn't really want the overhead and the Quad Cities. We didn't know how well, the community would support and everything. So we were like, what better way to travel? And Lauren already had a truck.
Yep.
So we were like, instead of the milk truck idea, or whatever you want to call that, box truck, we decided to go with a trailer. So it's like a fully enclosed trailer that's 20 feet by 8.5 foot wide. And yeah, Lauren was like, absolutely. And then our dreams slowly turned into reality.
Yeah, so a little backstory too. So I went to school for finance, even though I really wanted to go for fashion merchandising. My dad talked me into going for finance, which was more stable, but I still regret it. I would have had way more fun studying merchandising in college.
Yeah, and I feel like we both, especially Lauren, has always been into fashion. And then from a young age too, we've like always been small entrepreneurs, and we've always when we were 12, we started a lawn care business called In Good Hands together.
Yeah, we picked a lot of weeds and we made very little money, but it was a lot of money for us at the time.
Yeah, so we knew we wanted to do something together. So I feel like the fashion side of it was perfect for us. The mobile boutique seems like a good option with low overhead. So then really it became reality when I was graduating college. And
that was in
2017 I graduated college. So it was about a year before we started the business. And you were working full-time at Von Maur corporate office.
Yep. And I started at Von Maur as an executive trainee. So I got experience in the store working as a sales associate, which was amazing for this position too. So when you guys are thinking about starting your own businesses, if there's something that you've been passionate about and you know you enjoy something, get a job in that field to make sure it's truly what you want, because I love working in the store. I love working with customers. I loved helping people put outfits together. And then from there I went to be a buyer at the corporate office, and so I was a buyer for about 5 years. So that just had the whole other side of the career and starting a boutique, and it was perfect because I just got to see how you picked out clothing, how far in advance, what kind of open to buys we're working with. So all that definitely helped.
Because I had no idea how to do any of that. Like when we were starting about opening a boutique, you think of marketing and the clothes, and I was like, where do we get these clothes? Like, how do we find these vendors and everything? So it was really nice that you had that background knowledge. And then you were there for 5 years, and I went to work at a website development company after college for 1 year. And it was good because we had like such different skill sets. Because then there I learned the back ends of websites and like SEO and social media marketing, more down to like the nitty gritty, like analytics and everything like that. And then, with you having the buying background, and it was a good starting point with like meshing skills and
right. And to start a boutique, we're not saying you need any of this background. It's just helpful sometimes if you've worked in retail or you know a little bit about websites, and if not, we're gonna help you through this podcast figure out like what skills you have already, and then which ones we can kind of help you with, and we can kind of expand on just how to do some of these things for a basic person that doesn't know anything about this.
Yeah, because that was us. You know, we knew a little bit of the background, but when it came to actually opening a mobile boutique, you know, we were reaching out for help too, and looking at podcasts and doing everything we could.
There's so much information out there. So there's like, you can definitely open, you know, a boutique, open a mobile boutique, open an online store with honestly not that, you know, it's not that hard. We're just going to walk you through the basics.
Yeah, and it's the, you know, boutique industry is like so oversaturated, especially right now, because there's so many online boutiques that have popped up and everything. So that is one thing too. I feel like the mobile boutique was that like different, that uniqueness that we needed, you know, to kind of set us apart from everybody.
And we're gonna give you kind of our tips on what has been super successful with our business, but that does not mean it works for everyone.
For sure.
But we fully believe in our strategy and what has launched us forward. So we can definitely, we're excited to like share that and just kind of help you launch your business as well.
Yeah, for sure. So then really after we got the mobile boutique, I don't know, I feel like we should touch on renovating it and just like really how we got from quitting our full-time jobs to the full launch of the mobile boutique.
And the first thing we actually did was like Haley was doing kind of behind the scenes stuff of setting up like our EIN number.
So a little more backstory. I quit my job a full month or two probably before you quit at Von Mar. So and then Lauren kind of got cold feet actually.
Oops.
Yeah, Lauren was like, are we sure we want to be doing this? Like, is this, I don't know, is this a good idea? And our family, you know, when it came time to me actually quitting my job, they were like, all right, like they're actually serious about this. This is crazy. So I was working on that little back end things that would like get us to fully launching. I was doing the social media, just trying to get out like, you know, we're going to be in the Quad Cities soon. Yep, what to look for, all of that. And then when Lauren quit her job in 2018, we really just went like fully into it.
Did I quit a month before?
It wasn't that much time, honestly.
Yeah.
It wasn't that much time.
I think it was like a month.
Yeah. And by then, I mean, we had bought the trailer, so we just got the trailer locally, but we did have it custom built because we wanted, you know, being in a trailer sometimes feels very like enclosed and very
claustrophobic.
Yeah, for sure. So we had it custom built, so it was a little wider than your average trailer, but then for renovating us, it was really like Lauren's husband, Tim, and
it was just like very basic, and we just did what we could do ourselves. Yeah. We didn't
really hire
anybody. And if you have handy people in your life, it makes owning a business so much easier.
We've realized that.
If you have the capabilities to create like cool displays, or you're good at woodworking, or your husband or your friend or your family member knows how to install like a plank snap-in floor. Yeah. It is very helpful.
Very helpful, because otherwise it is so easy to think, oh, I can find someone to do that, and then you're out thousands of dollars for things like that. Like, it was so nice having family members that
the labor can add up.
Yes, it can definitely add up. Yeah. So really, I mean, all we didn't have to do that much. I mean, we painted the walls, just painted everything white. Yeah. We added cubbies, like little cubbies we installed on the wall.
Those are from Target.
Yep. I mean, everything was pretty, like just DIY. We had little lights installed, but I mean, it was pretty, you know, which happens
minimal. Minimal cost for the renovations to start, and we just did wallpaper on the back from like Amazon, and that was inexpensive and super easy to install and take away. So wallpaper these days, you know,
for sure,
game changer.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, really, I want to say one of the toughest parts from actually launching the boutique, like with all the steps, was the like legal aspects of it. That part just stressed me out, because especially in 2018, there seemed like there were so many gray areas where I was looking up where can we park, like where do we go, what kind of business license do we need since we're mobile. And I remember calling places and they're like, we have never even made any type of laws for mobile boutiques because it was it was just starting. And so it was good for us because back then they were like, you don't even exist to us, so like as long as you're on private or if you're on private property, as long as you have approval, and then you're fine and you can park on public property.
And to like public streets, you just have to get a parking permit for the day. So,
and obviously it does depend like where you're at, but yeah, it was pretty they didn't have a lot of answers for us, but it was kind of like, go do your thing, girls. Like get a business license, get your tax information, get your basic business legalities that everyone would need, and then so it was kind of smooth sailing after, I don't know,
how long did it take?
It was probably, I feel like it was a few months at least of
until we got everything legally.
Yeah. It was like constant Googling, constant calling people.
Haley did most of this.
All these things again, like all these specific, things we'll go through in all these episodes too. And we have a book that is in the process. We are writing a book all about how to start a mobile boutique and
just the basic things that you absolutely need.
Yes.
And the extreme successes that we've had will be more in detail in the book.
Yes,
so.
For sure. Yeah. So then after figuring that out and after getting the mobile boutique, it was really like merchandise, which was Lauren's. Lauren was my go-to girl. We went to a market in Chicago.
It was Style Max now, and now it's, what is it, Chicago Collective?
Yeah.
They changed the name, but it's a fine Midwest market to head to and just start seeing what vendors you like, and it kind of depends on your target market, because I know a lot of boutiques are like, oh, I cater to moms, or I cater to like college age. And when we first started, we were definitely like, we cater to college girls. This is our market, because we were starting the boutique with our we wanted to go to colleges specifically with our mobile. So we were gonna call it like Love Your Sister Boutique, and like make it kind of a play on like sisterhood and philanthropy. And we were both in sororities, so we were gonna park at sororities and give money back to any sorority that hosted us, which we did, and it was very successful. But then as we grew, we have created like a niche where it's like, we have our grandma who's 98 and she actually shops with us. And we do have college girls constantly shopping with us. So we have created and grown ourselves into a way bigger demographic than we ever thought we would.
Yeah, and even like looking back on how we were gonna name it Love Your Sister and everything, it's so funny. Lauren, we had that set, and that was like in my Google Docs, like that's the name of the boutique. And then I think you called me one night and Lauren was like, do you think that brick and mortar boutique, does that sound stupid? And I was blown away.
I'm really good at this.
I was like, how did you come up with that? That's genius. And some people don't get it, but it's the play on words, like, a brick and mortar boutique is your building, standalone, it's your building with the bricks and everything. So a brick and mortar was perfect. I was like, it's genius.
Yeah, so we did the outside of the trailer in whitewashed brick with a huge logo, and that's how we came up with, Haley designed our trailer graphics too, but Haley had a very basic idea, and we took it to Edwards Creative, which is a local place here in the Quad Cities. It's in Milan, but they were amazing, and they made our dream come to life.
Yes.
It looks like an actual shop.
Yes.
It is crazy. They did really great detailing on the bricks and on the lamps and on the doors, and everything is amazing.
Yep, they did a full wrap on it. So we're always like, shout out to them, because from afar, people are like, oh my gosh, I thought those were real bricks on there. It always makes me laugh. But yeah, they did an amazing job. So really, once we got legal aspects, we got the trailer, we had it renovated, we were buying our merchandise. We were doing marketing. And then really it came down to launch day, which was July 23rd of 2018, which was a crazy day. We just launched online,
Yeah, we just did online first.
Yep. And then that weekend was our huge event, first event ever, which
Baptized by fire.
Literally. It was BIC 7, which everyone in the Quad Cities knows what that is, and outside the Quad Cities, I feel like most people know what that is.
If you're a runner, you know.
If you're a runner, you know what that is. It was absolutely insane. We applied to be a vendor at the BIC Street Fest with all these other vendors that are selling food, merchandise, all this stuff, and so we were there 2 days, Friday and Saturday, right? Or Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, it was 2 days, I'm pretty
Definitely 2 days, yes. And it was crazy. It was absolutely insane. Lauren was sick.
Oh yeah, I got sick. Yeah, we'll have to show you a picture of what the trailer looked like then and what it looks like now.
Completely different.
We bought very little. Our budget starting out was very minimal.
Very little.
So we just bought things at market that we absolutely loved, and they fit the smallest of people.
Yes.
It was insane, but we still had a very successful weekend.
We did.
And
even though most of our clothes in there were we were still on that college route, we're going to sororities, we're going to universities, so everyone wants crop tops. And I look back and I'm surprised how well we did there, because we did really well. And I think it's because we were new too. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, what is that? I've never seen that ever in Quad Cities. So it was a cool way to start the weekend.
Yes.
It was absolutely insane. I remember we were on the news and we were freaking out, and Mom was there helping us, and it was so fun. All our friends came down to see us.
Yeah, that was so fun. That was insane.
And
so it's fun when you start a business. Definitely do it up big for your grand opening.
Yeah.
Because we celebrate hard and we love to throw events. And that weekend we went big. It was we were working, I think, noon to midnight both days. But if you're willing to put in the hard work, it was worth it. It was awesome.
Adrenaline was pumping. We were ready. We were just happy we were selling things. We were like, oh my gosh. But
awesome.
Yeah, and then after that, it was university.
It was
university.
We were reaching out to. We reached out to mainly, so we both went to Bradley University in Peoria. So we reached out to them first, right?
Yes, I believe we reached out to them.
And then other sororities kind of got a hold of us because they saw that we did it with Pi Phi at Bradley. And Pi Phi at Bradley is still one of our biggest events we have ever done.
Yeah,
I think it's in the top 10 one day on campus. We killed it. It was amazing. And that was the first fall that we opened. And then we went to a lot of smaller colleges, and we were still very successful, even though the college was tiny. There just weren't the boutiques around the area to shop, and so they were so excited to find us. And we were right in the smack dab middle of campus, so very visible. We got a lot of followers very quickly from going to all the colleges.
It was great, the first 6 months, it was we went hard. We went to a lot of universities. Yeah, we got a lot of new followers, new customers. I feel like our online website was doing really well because of all the places we were going, all the eyes that were seeing us. But
and that's something too. It depends on your business model. And Haley was just out of college, so our mindset was let's party.
Yeah.
Let's go out. We got to find these girls the best going out clothes in the industry
at a good price. We're these are college girls. This needs to be affordable, but cute and good quality. And we want to make sure they buy it or their mom will buy it for them.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And then really, what changed all of that was
winter.
Probably, winter and COVID.
Yeah, well, winter in the Midwest is obviously terrible. So we were, and again, this is kind of luck and also just by chance, someone reached out to us the first like 4 months we were open. They're like, what are you guys gonna do for the winter? We're like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And they were like, we have a incubator shop where you guys can pay really cheap rent and set up for 3 months over the winter and just see how it goes. And that tiny little incubator shop was so inexpensive that it like propelled us to just keep a shop forever, because we had a ton of success over the winter. Christmas sales were amazing, and then we kept that shop open. It was, and we were just open Wednesdays and Saturdays there.
Yeah, because the foot traffic of where we were at right now too, it's not the best foot traffic. It's not like people are always walking around like looking for shops and everything. So we just kept it to the 2 days, and then had our online and the mobile boutique. And I mean, it went fairly well. I mean, well enough for us to stay downtown Rock Island for, all these years.
And too, just think about this when you're starting a business too. If you're gonna run it out of your house, which is what we were originally doing, I had a very small house and 1 bedroom was a warehouse. So
Lauren almost got divorced. Not really, but I remember Lauren was like, I gotta get this stuff out of the house. Like,
it's just hard when you're starting and if you don't have like a big house or big space.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like your life is like overrun by your business at your house. So that's one thing that you'll have to kind of think about when you're starting is like, do I want to get a warehouse? Is there really cheap rent somewhere that I can just start doing pop-ups at? Like, or do you want to keep it all in your mobile boutique? And then when you get a box in, you go straight to your, mobile boutique, or you steam it at home and take it straight to the mobile boutique. So it's all in there. So it's not in your home, and kind of separating your home life from your work life is important early on too. Even though I know as a small business owner, that's kind of like impossible.
Obviously takes over your home, but it is overwhelming when that happens. Because I remember there were days we come over to your house, and like boutique stuff would be everywhere, and I'm like, oh my gosh, just like I feel so bad, Like at the time, I think I was still living with Mom, so I was like, I'm sorry, there was not too many options, but yeah, I think that's actually a good tip, because it's very easy for your business to like consume your whole life, So yeah.
And we'll talk about that too, just kind of setting up schedules
and
for
boundaries.
yourself, and that's super important in running a small business, because it is super fun, but it can be all consuming if you make it.
I was gonna say that we were like, oh, we had such good success, we're killing it. I'm like, whoo, this is a very positive episode. There are there's a lot of draining days that we've had that we're like, what are we doing? But again, another story for another day. I feel like this is honestly a good place to stop right now. We didn't want to like talk your ears off, but we also wanted to, kind of give you guys a little intro about who we are, where we started, and the next one we can talk about more, how we've evolved. I would say we've been in business for, it'll be 6 years this July. So kind of a part 2 to this episode, just like where we are now, and like how we've grown a little bit, how we've changed the trailer, and then we can get into like some details of
events, pop-ups, where to go, where to park, all the fun stuff.
So much. We get so many questions on our TikTok videos that's what really kind of inspired us to start this podcast too. Like the questions of how to start a mobile boutique, like where'd you get your flooring from? How did you put in your flooring? Where did you get your lights from? Did you paint the ceiling? There's so many weird questions and so many, details that go into things that people don't think about. So we'll be covering it all. Well, thank you guys for listening to our first podcast, Boutique Babe Cave, and we will hopefully see you on episode 2. Bye. That was good.
Like it?
We did.